President Biden makes massive moves in immigration on his first day in office. Welcome to Voice of Immigration. I'm your host, John Veely, CEO of OnlineVisas, the intelligent immigration platform. After being sworn in at noon, President Biden went right to work on Donald Trump's immigration policies and suggesting very comprehensive immigration reform legislation. So it's a huge day for immigration. Here are 6 major things. 1. Trump's last-minute immigration regulations fail. Trump's H-1B and H-2A regulations did not make it through the window to be published in the Federal Registry, and thus will be caught up in Biden's regulatory freeze. More good news is that the previous regulation regarding the Department of Labor's increase of the prevailing wage may fail because it is based on the findings in the H-1B rule that it assumed would be published. It will be interesting to see if the Biden administration or lawsuits use this scenario as the way to undo that rule. Number 2, the Muslim ban is tossed out. President Biden will undo what Trump enacted in 2017, banning people from 7 different, mostly Muslim countries. The Supreme Court, after numerous lawsuits tossing this law out, eventually held up a watered-down version in a 5-4 decision. However, the new administration says that it will increase the screening of visitors that are coming into the country by sharing information with other governments. Number 3, the border wall will be stopped. Biden is stopping the national emergency that Trump enacted in 2018 that diverted billions of dollars from defense spending to be used for building the wall along the southern border. There is a federal lawsuit on whether the diversion of those funds is illegal anyway. Number 4, DACA to be preserved. President Biden will order his cabinet to begin work on preserving the deferred adjudication for childhood arrivals, DACA. He also is suggesting in his legislation that we'll discuss a little bit later how DACA recipients can have a pathway to citizenship. Number 5, deportation priority ceased. President Biden has revoked Trump's first presidential proclamation that all 11 million people in the United States that are not authorized are to be priorities for deportation. The Department of Homeland Security will go back and determine priorities. President Biden has said those priorities should be focused on national security and public safety concerns. However, the order says nothing about the 100-day deportation moratorium that was part of the campaign. Susan Rice, who is part of the Biden team, says that those decisions on moratoriums will come from the Department of Homeland Security. And number 6, the largest action is Biden's proposed legislation that he delivered to Congress today. The big headline is that there are green cards and a pathway to citizenship for anybody who is in the United States on January 1st, 2021. This would include the 11 million unauthorized people that would have to wait about 8 years, but it would be an immediate pathway for those who are on DACA or those who are on a temporary protective status. Other provisions lessen the long wait times for people that are outside the United States, and there is also some aid to Central America. Let's go through the legislation a little bit more closely, okay? It is called the US Citizenship Act of 2021. Foreign nationals present in the United States on January 1st, 2021 would be eligible to apply for green cards if they pass criminal background checks after 5 years if they meet certain regulations. That time frame is reduced for 3 years for DACA recipients, temporary protected status, and farm workers that are present in the United States on that date of January 1st, 2021, if they meet certain requirements. The Secretary of Homeland Security may also waive the physical presence requirement for obtaining a green card in citizenship if people were deported after January 20th, 2017. That's the inauguration day of Donald Trump. 3 years prior to removal for family unity or humanitarian purposes. Basically what that means is you have to show that you're related to a U.S. citizen or have other compelling reasons to come back to the United States. Here's one that I find very compelling. They're going to eliminate the lengthy backlogs or the priority dates for immigration visas. Those are green cards. Some people have to wait 15 to 20 years on these, especially those from very big population countries like India that are keeping up our tech industry. They're going to increase the per country visa caps, and they're going to eliminate the 3 and 10-year bars. Those bars kick in if you've been out of status for more than 180 days, that's 3 years, or a full year, that's 10 years. They're also going to enact other laws that help keep families together. They're going to increase diversity visas from 55,000 to 80,000. The proposed bill also says they're going to help grow the economy by eliminating the backlogs we just talked about. They're going to recapture unused visas. So they have all these visas that don't get used and they just don't use them. They're going to reduce the lengthy waiting times. This bill will make it easier for graduates, especially in the STEM-related subjects, to be able to remain in the United States and go for their green cards. They're going to improve the ability to get green cards for the lower wage areas, and they're going to eliminate other unnecessary immigration hurdles that have been enacted by the Trump administration, but many of that have gone on for years before. They're going to enact work authorizations for H-1B dependents. They're going to create a pilot program that will help stimulate regional economic development. This will give Department of Homeland Security the ability to adjust green card applications based on macroeconomic situation. This program will incentivize the providing of higher wages for non-immigrants that will protect American jobs. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. That's one of the things we thought the Biden administration would favor, and that is higher wages for non-immigrants. It'll be interesting how this administration approach differed from the last one. The last administration wanted to just hike those wages so high that no one would hire the non-immigrants, so it really didn't protect anybody. This one might be more reasonable and might take in more data that will help really solve the problem. The bill will also support asylum seekers, increase the deadline that was 1 year for filing an asylum case, and provide additional funding to decrease the asylum case backlog. Interesting thing in the deportation scenario, they're going to provide more technology and more funding to immigration judges and give them more discretion. One of the most difficult situations in deportation cases is the judges don't really have any choice to do anything but deport somebody. It'll be interesting to see what this bill does, or this law does, that would allow to have more discretion for the deportation judges to allow someone to remain in the United States. Really fascinating stuff. They're going to provide more protections for U, T, and VAWA cases. These are people that are granted visas to be able to talk about things that have happened in criminal cases and things like that to increase the number of U visas from 10 to 30,000. VAWA is the Violence Against Women's Act. We just had a case with a victim of a violence against women scenario that was denied under the Trump administration. It would be interesting if that case would have been approved by the new administration. There's also going to be a $4 billion interagency plan that will provide aid to El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras in an effort to solve the root cause of the immigration problem, which is that these people are in these war-torn countries and they have no place to go, so they come to America. If we can help these countries out, maybe we can help these guys build a better home in their own homeland. So, a huge day for immigration, maybe one of the biggest ever. If you want to find out more about immigration for yourself or your company, please go to OnlineVisas.com and schedule a free strategy session. If you want to learn more about the ever-changing world of immigration, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and share. Also follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm John Veely, CEO of OnlineVisas, the intelligent immigration platform where we deliver dreams.